There we go. I told you guys this is gonna be a fun stream. We're having fun tonight. No.
Collaborate and listen. I sit back with my brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of me tightly, flow like a harpoon daily and night.
There you are. That's it. That's there we go. That's where it's going. There we go. Sorry, no Corona. We do have bourbon Anola, cherry coke. You can't get more American than that. And then of course there's Mike's Hard Lemonade. Okay, now I'm not drinking all of this at once, guys, but I'm still here. I'm probably still hyped up pre-workout caffeine. I did break a personal record today of nearly 500-pound squat. So, yeah, there we go. Hold on. Wait, where's the applause? Where's the applause? Come on. Give me that. There we go. We are 500-pound squat for 3 reps. For 3 reps. 2 parallel. I did start. I kind of cheated a little bit before the set before. I did half squats for like 5 reps. I said, you know what? Let's get all the way to parallel and up as much as we can. So my legs are toast for today. So yeah. Meanwhile, this is where Corona is. But meanwhile in Mexico, they tend to not like people coming over to Mexico. Gee, Mexico City doesn't like foreigners going over to Mexico City. Just the other way around. But anyway, okay. But going to another topic. Remember, I talked about baseball bat nationalism before, and I think we need a little bit more of that. But it's starting to happen. These subways are now becoming safer. And I'll take the volume down over here because there's some more. I'm trying to stay away from any more YouTube. We don't have any YouTube strikes, but I mean, this video is demonetized anyway, so whatever. Okay, let's just listen to it. So, man tries to kidnap a girl at a subway station in Queens, New York, but gets beaten by the men around. Good job. Thank you. Thank you, men, for standing up. There we are. There we are. And all the guys spring into action. Yeah, you're welcome. There you go. Stop them. There. That's it. There you go. That's what this country used to be. You don't need if we can have men standing up again, which are starting to. There we go. That's what we start. That's what we need again. Good job. Good job for all those guys that stopped that kidnapping. Thank you so much, and keeping America safe. Not the blue. It needs American men and grit. That's what needs to happen. There we go. Thank you, American men. There we go. That's what we need. That's what we need to stop. We don't have to go ahead, call 911. It doesn't have to go to committee. It doesn't have to go to a bureaucratic process. No. Just stop what's going on. That's bad. Start building things. That's the type of attitude that this country needs. We're going to be positive this stream, okay? Because I know the whole last month we were kind of a little down in the dumps seeing the state of our country and what things are going on. Look, it's just sad that this country can go ahead, and if it wants to do something cool, it will do something cool for another country that starts with the letter I. Within 24 hours, you can go ahead and mobilize and spend an entire transit project's worth of money into bombing something and causing a couple holes. Who knows if it actually destroyed anything or not? It doesn't matter. But the fact of the matter is that this country can go ahead and mobilize an entire force within 24 hours of B-2 bombers and fighter jets and get that all rolling to go ahead and come back within 24 hours. It just goes to show you where our priorities are. Okay? Our priorities, how does it help someone in Iowa to go ahead and bomb Iran? How does it help somebody in the state of Indiana to benefit the state of Israel? And by the way, we've lost like 20% of our missile defense system, our THAAD missiles, defending this sort of. Yeah, so that's again, political will to action, priorities. Power priorities. We can start getting this in, and things are starting to change to our way. at this point, let's be honest, we're in the ideation stage, okay? Because there's still silly ideas like this that are still around, and there's also some pretty cool ideas, okay? Some pretty cool ideas like this that are making the rounds, and also this, okay? That's cool. That's cool. This is cringe. Very cringe. That's hold on. Let's see. Where is it? Cringe. There we are. That's cringe. We've talked about these silly pod systems before. They're not. It's not. Sorry. It's not. You're not fixing anything with the silly pod systems. No. Because while we're doing that, we've talked about Texas a couple times, and I know you guys want to talk about Texas. So, an update on Texas by a website, Environment Texas. What's happening with high-speed rail in Texas? Here we are. Federal funding cut, but project developers still press ahead. So it's still happening. It's honestly less of an update, and it's more or less the same sort of stuff that we've been talking about of what's going on in Texas. Okay, there's Texas. And then there's California, which at this point, they're two sides of the same crappy coin. I don't want to touch any of those two states at all. It's kind of a mess in both states. But hey, look, we get to see a vision here of how both states are kind of handling their own mess while making it a little bit messier. Because long story short of what happened in Texas, Texas Central Railway came out in the early 2010s. Yes, it's been that long, guys. It's we're talking about the 2010s as if they were the 1920s or the 1980s. As if we're talking about the 1910s, okay? As if they were the 90s. But back in the good old 2010s, Texas Central Railway came out, I believe 2013, 2014, circa around that time, to go ahead and do high-speed rail between Dallas and Houston using the Japanese Shinkansen system, i.e. the Nozomi Shinkansen, but they will have the N700. It's something that looks like this. There you go. Running at speeds of excess of 205 miles an hour between Dallas and Houston, completing the journey within 90 minutes. A hell of a lot better than sitting on the interstate. Unfortunately, in the state of Texas, they're not as business friendly as they would like to be. They're only business friendly if you can go ahead and lobby the hell with billions of dollars to the state legislature. Unfortunately, Texas Central Railway did not have billions of dollars on hand. They were offered Japanese loans, basically zero interest loans, more or less, because the Bank of Japan has had more or less zero to negative interest in the last 10 years or 20 years. And we could have had that. Unfortunately, with the coup going on and everything else and all that, the company kind of just went into dead silence. And then the Texas court, the Texas court also helped to slam that down, going ahead and talking about what eminent domain can be used for, which eminent domain can go ahead and take away your farm. We've talked about that last stream. Eminent domain can go ahead and build an entire interstate right through your house if they want to. But to go ahead and build a train system, which takes up far less room, much more quiet, far more quieter, and far more efficient. No, yeah, Texas, yeah. So free Texas, yeah. Really free state. Look at that, yeah. No, yeah. Look, you could have had it. You could have had it now, but yeah, this is here we are. Attacks by legislatures fail again. Number of bills introduced this session that may have slowed down. They're still trying it. House Bill 663 in the state of Texas, which would have blocked the use of eminent domain for the purpose of developing high-speed rail. They're literally having that. They're literally naming high-speed rail in the bill to go ahead and kill it. And another one, prohibited the use of public funds for planning, construction, and operation of high-speed rail by a private entity. So much for privatize. Yeah, libertarian paradise of Texas. Yeah, no. Yeah, sure. No, I'm very disappointed at Texas. My disappointment in Texas has been very well documented, and I've talked about it before. I know you guys have lived in Texas. I feel bad for you guys. I'm sorry. We gotta do something here. We gotta do something over here. Okay, California is going to have a high-speed rail system before Texas, and it's not because of California either. It's going to be because of a Florida company. A Florida company is building a high-speed rail system in California before Texas or California can build high-speed rail systems within their own states. Go flip and figure. Now, it's not dead, as this article says. The road to high-speed rail in Texas hasn't been easy, but that doesn't mean it's a dead end. With smart policy, transparency, and a commitment to both innovation and local voices, Texas has I'm sorry. At this point, no. It's the only way that's going to happen is where is it? Where is it? It's time to bring out more. You need more political power, political will. That's what we need. That's what it's going to take down on Texas. Or better yet, if you're in Texas, move to Oklahoma. It's more Texas there than Texas. Meanwhile, China, which by the way, China, another high-speed rail breakthrough. But if hold on a second, this last article. Hey, wait, happened to do it. Hold on. Hold on a second. There we are. Okay. Speaking of China, so the picture in this Texas article, funny enough, and that'll be a good segue to China, and then we'll get to the rest of the stuff, and then we'll open up the phone lines. Technically, the Discord lines. A high-speed train in Jakarta, Indonesia. For those of you who don't see that, let me go ahead and move that over here for everybody. While I'm doing that, let me read the comments on YouTube. Pods move a small amount compared to a train. Yes, Adam Busair. How do European trains deal with fights? I think they just stand. Well, unless there's an American on the train, you guys are kind of screwed. I don't know. Why is there an HSR America pod system on a train for cross-continental train is baffling. Yes, because as we said before, journalists are mentally deficient and retarded on many scales, as the word retarded would be. And we can say retarded again. It's 2025. I can say retarded again. That's legal now to say. They don't understand what high-speed rail is versus a pod system. So, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, this high-speed train in Jakarta, Indonesia. Most Americans are not aware of Indonesia. Most Americans can't even point to Indonesia on a map. But Indonesia is one of the most heavily populated countries on the planet. Okay? I believe number 4 in terms of population. Let me see. Hold on. India's number 1. China's number 2. U.S. number 3, and I think Indonesia number 4. Let me just make sure I'm right on there. I'll make sure I'm not holding myself to it. I know it's definitely in the top. Woo. Okay, here we go. I know it's definitely in the top. Hold on. Population, country, ranks. There we go. So Indonesia has a high-speed rail system before the United States, and that was built by China. Yes, I'm correct. India, China, United States, Indonesia. Indonesia's number 4. There we go. I am on the money tonight. There we are. There we are. I'm right. I'm right. Words I say too much. As my wife says. No, I'm joking. Don't worry. It's a joke. There we go. Okay, India is number 1 at 1.4 billion people. China, 1.4 billion people. United States, nearly 350 million people. 50 million that probably won't be here. We need to slow back and reset and get things building over here. But we talked about that before. We'll leave that back in June. Indonesia, 285 million people. Nearly 286 million at this rate. But yeah, they were able to build a high-speed rail system. Gee, how come? Well, because China went ahead and just bankrolled them, which China can basically do because they, for the last 15, I would say, 15 years, but I would say give it 16 years, right? For the last 16 years, China has really developed their high-speed rail system. Oh, but they're in so much debt. Yeah, well, so is our country, and we're going to be in a hell of a lot more debt. We're going to see $50 trillion debt in this country. It will reach $50 trillion. But China paid their debt to themselves, which they're never going to pay, and they don't care, as they don't play by the same rules. Again, if you're playing a rigged game and you're playing by the rigged rules, you're going to lose. China knows that and doesn't care. If we could only be a little bit more like that, maybe we can start seeing stuff. Again, we need to be more like this. That's what we need to do. Take this picture in your mind, put in your mind, this is what this country needs to be again. Okay? Just needs to emulate that sort of avatar of just true grit and iron and just bring that back into this country. That's what we need. But China is now making another breakthrough. They're making faster and faster trains. Trains reaching speeds of 250 miles an hour, more or less, close to it. Okay. There we are. New segment started construction in 2020. They opened it up. Speeds of 350 kilometers an hour. Now, I know in this country, we do not know. Hold on. That's about 220 miles an hour. About, give or take. I think I'm right on that. Hold on. 350. Because 300 is about 180. So give or take. Hold on. 2 miles per hour. Hold on. That is about... Yep, almost right on the money. 217 miles an hour. Okay. Yeah. They have trains that go 217 miles an hour. Come on. Look, it has less to do with just more of just the national presence that we have in this country. I mean, we could be already have really in the last 15 years. We could have built up and fixed up the entire infrastructure of this country and gone ahead and start building everybody else's and making money. You want to pay off the national debt? That's how we do it. Start building stuff and making the other countries pay for it. That's what China's doing. That's why nobody's ever going to call China's dead. Is anybody in their right mind going to walk into China and make a call on their debt? They're not going to walk out. They're gonna say I caught, and they're gone. That's it. They go to bauxite mine and they're gone. That's how they do it over there. We're starting to get a little bit like that, and I think we're getting the right ideas here. We're getting there. It's gonna take a while, but we're getting there. But yeah, look at this. They completed the Chongqing to Changsha link together with the Guangzhou to Xiamen line. I'm tired of reading. I want to hear St. Louis to Chicago. I want to hear New York to DC. I don't want to hear any more Chinese cities that have built up Chinese rails. Now, I know all it takes is a B-2 bomber flying over the Three Gorges Dam, but regardless, I mean, that's it. Look, it's just so silly that this country can actually be building stuff. Forget bombing any other country. We don't even need to do that. Again, it's just a matter of getting our country's perspective back into order. That's all it needs to take. Okay? It irks me to no end that every other country is building up their infrastructure. America has crumbled in terms of infrastructure. In terms of a lot of other stuff, okay? Morality too. But yeah, we need to get there. And that's going to start not from the federal government. It's going to start from the states. So Virginia, I'm going to go to this real quick, and then we're going to open up the phone lines. Virginia approved 6-year, $7 billion transportation plan. That's how it does it. That's how you got to have to do it. Okay, funding would include $442 million for WMATA, $17 million for VRE, $20.3 million for DPRT rail programs, and $245.3 million for transforming rail program. What does that mean? I'm not going to go into it, but that's good. States have to start taking control of their own selves. Speaking of California, as we talked about earlier, California rail projects included in $5 billion in California transportation funding. There you go. So as Texas is still fighting over this, over high-speed rail, California and Virginia seem to be taking things in their own man. And look, are they going to actually build the high-speed rail system? Probably not at this point. It's sad, but I don't think it's going to happen. If any, ever. They're building so slowly that at this rate, I say maybe 2040. If ever. It's sad, it's silly, but it's what it is. Okay? But at least we are building some stuff. And apologies that it's coming from this guy. But yeah, look, we'll be talking about this next week. We're still having an Acela stream. That's still happening, but the next gen Acela is coming. It's happening. So it only took about 7 years, but we're getting there. Hooray. There we go. Hold on. Wait. There we go. Something. Here's a win for America. There we go. Next gen Acela. Yeah. And look, it's going to take some time to get there, but it's just what it is. We just have to start taking advantage of the changes that are going on in America. and really just changing political will to actually progress and make something real. And I don't mean progress in the term of progressive. I mean progress into actually moving the needle to build something. Okay? And this is the kind of attitude we need to go against. Is again the Margaritaville attitude. Is that if we want to build something, they'll go ahead and go through the HOAs or through the building codes and ban it. That's the kind of stuff we need to stop. Okay? Because every other country can build this sort of thing. We can't build in our own. You know, we want to take advantage of. You know, where's the other? Hold on, I had it somewhere. Yeah, and this almost went through the big beautiful bill. Now I don't know, and at this point it doesn't really matter because they're just going to do whatever they please. And even if they actually do have it in there, I very much doubt how much they'll be able to get done because the enforcement arm of the United States, as it stands right now, it's very, very weak. Very weak. Okay? That instead of rebuilding and going ahead, building within our own cities, because our own cities are broken, they want to go ahead and take national land to go ahead and build more basically garbage housing over there. Right? And it's silly because we can build this sort of stuff. You know, people think it's silly that we can't build because it's too compact. It's West Coast cities are hemmed in by water and mountains. Look at San Francisco versus Dallas below. Meanwhile, in Hong Kong, they can go ahead and build that. I wonder what real cities do when they are hemmed by water and mountains. Yeah, and Hong Kong has one of the best transit systems on the planet. Even still to this day, under being under the foot of the CCP, but look, this sort of stuff is not happening. We have this happening in American cities. This isn't happening in Hong Kong. Why don't people want to come to American cities? Breaking: 2 killed, 1 injured. An Indy shooting gunfire erupted in Indianapolis, leaving 2 dead and 1 hurt. Suspects led police on a high-speed chase. Both are now in custody. No ongoing threat. Stay informed. Protect the world with Citizen. Yeah. Why don't people want to go into American cities anymore? Why don't people want to ride on transit in America? I'll leave it at that. Let's keep. Yeah. And this is why people run out and start building this. The entire real estate market is trying to get as far away from cities as possible. That's why Dallas and Houston have so many different rings of interstates. It just keep leaving the cities, keep leaving the cities, keep leaving the cities. We can't build back in the cities if we keep leaving the cities. How are we supposed to live in the cities if we keep leaving the cities and then keep building this? So again, the national attitude has to change. There are some good things happening in some cities. Here we are. This is one. And we can build this sort of stuff again. PCCs are back in Girard. There we are. No, it's not Europe. It's not Europe because there's a big old golden arches over there. A big old golden arches. There we are. That's the American flag over there, guys. There you go. Yeah, we can build this sort of stuff again. We can. We can get there again. We'll get there. Yeah. All right. Let's leave it off on some funny stuff over here. Here we go.
Just arrived in the colonies because there was some bitching over a tiny 3% tax. Not that big a deal, but whatever. This shit'll be easy.
What the actual fuck? Where the hell are they?
By the way, apologies for the language. This stream is not getting monetized anyway, so who cares? But anyway, here we are.
They're lined up 10 feet in front of me wearing bright blue uniforms. I can't see them. These guys are such assholes. What kind of a dickhead doesn't line up in a straight line and patiently take turns shooting one another?
AI's gone a long way, I will say. It's gotten pretty cool. I will say there's some cool things with it.
These colonials are worse than gonorrhea. They hide behind trees and pick us off while we pass through single file wearing bright red. And you would know, Corporal, even though we're the superpower of the world, we still don't know how to counter this ingenious tactic of hiding behind trees.
All right, and then we'll end it there. That was a good one. There you go for 4th of July. That's a good one. By the way, really good book I recommend for 4th of July. If you guys want to read books, it's not rail related, but this is a good one. I remember listening to this about 2 years ago. The Swamp Fox by John Aller. For those of you who have watched Mel Gibson's The Patriot, This is about the real guy that the Patriot was based off of, who Francis Marion. Okay, which living in Indianapolis or in any other place, you're gonna see a whole lot of places that are named Marion County or Marion this or Marion that. This is the guy who's named after Francis Marion. Okay, good book, really awesome. I recommend it. So yeah, go ahead and look at that. But anyway, all right, I'm done talking. It's time to let on everybody onto the stream. There we go. Yep. You've all been waiting for it. You all been waiting for it. Here we go. We're bringing everybody on. Here we go.
Hey, Dimitri, you doing good, man?
There we are. What's up, man?
Hey, I got 2 memes for you. One is
no.
Uh-oh.
one.
I love how we're all saying uh-oh at the same time here.
I can see where this is going.
One is a YouTube short country ball, which you might want to show that because everybody's going to bust
All
their
right.
ass like this.
There we go. All righty.
David, did you put my meatballs in the freezer?
Yes, I did. Also,
The meatballs are in the freezer, right, David?
yeah.
Hey, we were talking about freezers.
All righty. Okay, guys. All right. Let's see.
Hey,
Yeah, this is the if you want to share something, this is the stream to share it on. This is just a fun stream. All right. Let's see. Trains around the world. Here we are. Poland Ball.
Around the world.
I'm messing around with
One.
everything.
This
Yeah,
is real.
thanks. There's some good news happening this week.
Oh, the Indian one. Oh no.
Oh, that's fun.
That's hilarious. Oh man.
Hey, by
They
the way,
got the road so right.
No, that's
Right.
Michigan roads.
That's anywhere now. I mean, the whole Midwest, every road is terrible. Every Midwest state that says, "Oh yeah, our roads are the worst." No, the whole Midwest, the roads are terrible. Okay, Weston.
There's a
Who
reason.
put the beer cans up here? Western Pacific.
I did.
All righty.
You put beer cans? Oh.
Is that what you're drinking right now?
thirsty from that? I'm gonna
Wait
say,
a minute.
if you're thirsty from that, here, have the Western Pacific beer.
There we go. Yeah. No, this is not. This is a Corona. No Corona zone here on the American Rail Club. No Corona allowed.
Corona.
No Corona.
Brown?
Oh,
You don't want Mexican cervezas? How about
No,
margaritas?
no tomas Corona aquí. No. It's Miller time, guys. Miller time.
No, it's not Corona time.
Guys, Val got to tell you something. Val got to tell you something.
Corona
You
time's
remember
been canceled, guys. Go ahead, Val.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Like, get out of the way.
Dimitri, you remember when you were talking about Hong Kong? My wife Val been to Hong Kong. Quite. Am I right, Val? Like, she went there and
And they're all connected. Walkable, connected, but they're pretty crowded.
like, literally,
It only covers within the city. Okay? It only covers within the city. Not the whole part. You know what I mean, Dimo?
Yeah,
That's just
and
like-
Hong Kong is a very small city in comparison to American cities. Understandable, but yeah, it's still a super robust system that they have over there.
Also, Dimitri, you got the screenshot of the German commuter train with an auto rack on the back under that too.
Let me go ahead and see that. Yeah, that's a cool one. I was going to go ahead and get that. Hold on. Up. There we are.
With the auto carrier?
What?
Yeah.
Like, it would not be so hard to do that here in the U.S. Like,
Well, we do have the
even
auto
though-
train, and I've been on the auto train several times between Sanford and Lorton, Virginia. Sanford, Florida, and Lorton. It's basically DC to Orlando area. That's basically what it is, and it's cool.
Especially if that's away.
Yeah.
That's
You
away
have
cat too.
good
Which is funny. It was the first Amtrak train that my family ever rode on because we drove all the way to New York City from Miami, and that was an absolute. We were just tired. We didn't want to drive all the way back. So my mom found out about the auto train, and that's what we took on the way over. We just drove down to DC, stayed there for a night, and then got on the train. And we just started doing that back and forth, and it was just a hell of a lot easier. We just took Amtrak without the train, just the regular Silver Meteor, and just went up and over to New York. And it was just that. It was fun. I will say.
That's fine.
Oh, Dimitri, you're going
Why-
to laugh at it, but if you had taken the auto train, you would have literally passed my house without even realizing you passed my house because
Probably
I
did.
can literally, I can literally see the auto train from my house.
Yep.
Wait,
So
like,
don't
no-
leave an
You live
art
by- you
flag
live
in
up
your
by the
backyard
railroad?
when he's passing by, right?
No, not in the backyard, but I can see the tracks through the tree line.
Yeah.
Like, we have a tree line and a graveyard that block us from the track, but we can see trains going through.
Yeah. By the way, guys, 9:30 hard stop. We're gonna stop it there for the stream. So let's see if some articles that were put on here. Okay, here we are. This is something that was posted over here. Amtrak Mardi Gras service from Mobile to New Orleans will begin August 18 for $15. $15. Thank you for sharing that,
That's a
Adam.
deal.
Everywhere. But yeah, there you
that's
go.
a deal.
That's good. Begin.
Yeah, 15 deer is pretty easy to catch.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah,
All
the
the
only
way
thing
from
is,
New
there's only
Orleans
one
to
train a
Mobile,
day.
Alabama.
There's only one train a day.
Also,
That stinks.
Grand Trunk Link, I seen your article talking about the Reddington and Northern. You want to talk about that? Oh. You want to talk about the Grand Trunk? You there?
I don't think he's on the call.
All right, well.
No, he's not on the
sent
call.
Article in the
No, he's not.
chat.
Okay.
Well, I don't see him in the YouTube chat either, so he might not be on right now.
That's all right. That's all right. No
Oh.
worries. Okay, so what was the other
Alright.
article you wanted to talk about?
The other ones.
It would talk about
you talking about the mark?
or not the Grand Trunk. It would talk about the Reddington Northern proposal for passenger service. I just sent the link in the live chat.
Yep, got it. Okay, Reading in Northern promotes passenger departments Nadler. There we are. Reading in Northern, yeah. Jeff Nadler, who's been promoted to Assistant Vice President Passenger at the Reading and Northern, the railroad has announced. Nadler, who started with RNN as a freight conductor in 2007, advanced to designated supervisor of locomotive engineers. Most recently served as senior director. Okay. Railroad credits Nadler with a major role in development of the passenger operations, including work to help locate new rolling stock and the inception of King Cole Cafe food service. There you are. That's cool. Yeah, let's look at the website to see how this looks. That's good. There we are.
Like
Reading Blue
this-
Mountain and Northern Railroad. Let's see
Like,
about
and
the.
this is the Class 2 regional railroad. Class 2 regional railroad in Pennsylvania.
There you are. That's cool.
And they're talking about bringing like passenger service back, and they're talking with Amtrak. Like literally, Class 2 regional.
Yeah, and I do firmly believe that that's going to be the future of passenger rail in this country. It's not going to be with the Class 1s. It's going to be with the Class 2s and Class 3s, like we've seen with Brightline. FEC was a Class 2, and they just said, you know what, we're just gonna build a passenger rail ourselves, spin off a new company, and let them do it. And it's been successful. The same sort of thing we want to do for the rest of the country.
Oh, Dimitri, I do want to re-correct you on the one thing you did got wrong.
Oh,
Not
I got something wrong.
California.
How could this happen? Okay, go ahead, man.
It was not California that's going to get high-speed rail for Nevada.
True. Well, Nevada
It's half and half.
and California.
It's half and half.
Yeah, it is half and half. Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's half wrong, half right. We'll give it that.
Oh, we'll
Yeah.
give it a technically true, but overall false.
No, we're not giving it 5 Pinocchios.
No.
No.
What you remember is if you can't do it, you teach it. And if you can't teach it, you become a journalist.
Oh no, we're not journalists here. No.
So, also, I got another article talking about Colorado with their commuter rail system,
Oh, I think that.
which is a pretty cool one. You might want to talk about it right now, Demetrius.
That is. I mean, I'm just looking at the trains that they got over here on the Reading and Northern. That is pretty cool. Those excursion trains are really nice, by the way. I get to do the one that's over here in Indiana, especially during the fall, because that's really a nice time to go ahead and do it. All right, let's go to the next article over here that David's got for us. Where is it?
Let me resend the link.
Yeah,
It's in
resend it so I
the
don't have to scroll back up and down. There we are.
All right, there I do.
Okay. All right, Denver
pretty-
RTD votes to join in Front Range Passenger Rail Planning. There we go. June 28, 2025. There we are. Denver, Colorado's Regional Transportation District is once again involved in a plan to build a rail line service to serve communities north of Denver. The RTD, which has never acted a plan to build a commuter rail line between Denver and Longmont, Colorado, approved by voters in 2004. Man, we're talking about 21 years ago, guys. 2004 was 21 years ago.
That's
Now
when
you're
Fast
making
Track
me feel
started up.
old.
Oh, man. This week voted to
Yeah, I
join an
remember
agreement with
that.
2 other agencies to study the Denver-Fort Collins portion of the Front Range Passenger Rail project between Pueblo, Colorado and Fort Collins. There you go. Yeah, my wife lived in Colorado for a year, so she probably knows where this kind of is. But yeah, Boulder Junction down to... Yeah, this would be good.
Well, if
Yeah,
they
I can
extend it, they
I can
can
see
move
this
it
happening.
up to Cheyenne, Wyoming, and then down to either Santa Fe or Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yeah, it just takes... Just keep... But start small and just keep going ahead and pushing it on. That's how rail started in this country anyway. It was just basically a whole lot of other small companies, and it just grew out and grew out from there. That's just do what works, and that's what we got to do in this
Yeah.
country. No big ideas, no big pie in the sky, whatever the hell this. Oh man. This the stupid pod system. It is stupid. Whatever this. Ameristar Rail. This is stupid, and I'm not apologizing. In no way is this feasible.
Well, is it feasible? Yes, but once you break down the numbers, it's moving at most 10,000 people an hour, and a decent train system can do that with like 3 or 4 trains.
Yeah, within 10 minutes, with 2-minute headway in between.
Yeah,
no.
so once you break it down, a high-speed train is at worst like 2.5 times better. At worst. And at best, you're talking closer to 5 to 6 times better, because that 10,000 number, that's being very optimistic.
Yeah, no, fair assessment. And you know what? I'm not even worried about this. This is going to end up like every other pod system. It's just going to go nowhere. It's just what it is.
Well, knowing other pod systems is going to be used in some type of a major theme park or something, and then prove to be capable, but not a good long-term plan.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. It's basically a carnival ride, an exaggerated carnival ride. Who the hell posted cheese is just a loaf of milk? Who did this? Oh man!
Slowly. Oh, that's David. That's David.
Oh man, I love this club.
David, this is why we cannot have nice things.
Honestly, this is nicer than whatever this whole idea is down here, but it is kind of true. Cheese is just kind of a loaf of milk. Alrighty. Okay, I was gonna pass the story because it was bad news. But okay, we'll talk about it because it's part of what we're talking about over here. But let me go ahead and archive this because it's blocked between a paywall. And it's not even a paywall. I'm already part of trains.com. It won't let me. Every time I go ahead, and I've done this like 3 times in a row, updated my password, it screws it up again. I have no other problems with any other website.
But you didn't pay to get rid of the paywall because the previous paywall was passed by the paywall.
No, and I'm still getting Trains magazines. I get the magazines. I paid for the service. I get the magazines, but I can't get into the actual thing. So no, I'm not passing a paywall. I'm getting what I paid for. It's as simple as that. Yeah. Trains, give me my account back.
Like the side you from SEPTA.
Well, the Trains magazine is being just like the average politician. They're acting out, so they need daddy's belt.
Man. All right, so hold on again. Okay, so whenever this loads up, I'll just go ahead and read this, and you guys can go ahead and talk about it until the article loads up. So SEPTA board approves budget with 45% service cuts. Cuts would begin in August. Fares would rise by 21.5% in September to address deficit. Oh, man, yeah, and everybody was praising that SEPTA was doing so well, and now they do this.
Funny thing is, they can still stave it. They can still stave it because there is something in the Senate to give them money. If that money chain can get approved, it could save them for another 2 to 3 years.
True,
Right.
but somebody needs Daddy's belt, and it sounds like Septa's bored.
Yeah, because
I
they're
think-
passing the
Right.
buck down, and it's not. There's something very wrong, and I know we've talked about this before with several other transit agencies within the United States, where the vast majority of their budget is going to human resources rather to actual operation of the real line of the actual line. So there's
Oh, I
something
know.
going on with. And it's mostly an American problem. We just had a very bad problem with that. That's why whenever we build anything like the Second Avenue subway, it's $1.5 billion per mile, the most expensive train project on the planet in history. That's insane for a very mediocre, very ugly train project that doesn't really go that far or that fast at all. It's just
I
basically
know.
the same sad extension to the New York subway, which, by the way, New York is going to be a pretty terrible place very soon if the elections are going the way that they are.
Oh yeah, with that Muslim guy. I'm sorry, but
Mom, Donnie, yeah, no, it has nothing to do with what it is. He's basically he's basically Theater Kid 2.0. Somebody pointed that out on Twitter, and I said, you know what? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he doesn't really talk like a Muslim. That doesn't matter. I don't care. The guy is just basically some other like Gen Z or millennial leftist that you would find who just graduated from an Ivy
don't
League.
crash. Hey,
It's-
my Discord about to crash. My
Uh-oh.
Discord about to crash.
His Discord's oh no.
S in chat for David. For
We lost
his
David,
Discord.
guys. Okay, David's okay. Hold on, he may be coming back, but let's oh no, he's gone.
No, he's back.
He might be back.
Oh, he's back. There we are. Okay, and then we'll bring Star Force in too. There we are.
Yeah, I'm back.
He's
Discord
back.
crashed.
Alrighty.
But yeah, New York with Dick Guy and what I heard, I said, Also, you know that dumb idiot Hassan Piker? He might be getting fucked this time.
Wait, did somebody say Hassan Piker?
I'm coming to kill you!
Somebody call Sam Hyde. Call Sam Hyde.
Because he literally branded a weapon on live stream on Twitch, meaning and threatened that he was going to kill someone.
Normally that would get somebody a permaban, but Hassan Piker will barely get a slap on the wrist.
I mean, have you seen the? Hold on, let me see. It's just a fun stream. Let me see if I can find that video of Hassan Piker kicking a bag, because that was. I've seen better from children in like McDojo classes kicking better than that. Let me see if I can find that. But anyway, go ahead while I find this.
Oh, by the way, Dimitri, I give you the autistic proof to say the word retard. You've been autistic.
No, there's a massive difference
Uh-oh.
between autistic and retarded, David. Come on, you know that of all people. Please.
With you.
Yeah, but don't.
No, I don't mean that in any way. I know, like most of us in this channel are literally on the spectrum, but I mean, come on, there's a massive difference between retarded and autistic. So we're not, none of us here.
but don't call it-
Yes, we're autistic, but we're not retarded. Okay, and just to prove that we're autistic, hold on.
Don't call somebody a retard idiot.
There we are. We're playing the autistic national anthem over here.
But also, CXX is doing good with the track rebuilding in North Carolina. Like,
Send that over.
That's good.
I've seen an article on this right now on the live chat. There you go.
Oh,
Alright.
Oh,
I can't find
Also-
the Hassan
Sergeant
Piker
Hurricane?
kicking clip. Where the hell was that?
oh.
Anyway, okay, let me go ahead and put this up.
On tracks.
There's a 90% chance that Asmongold might have it.
It's probably somewhere. Anyway, I'm tired of looking at ugly people. I've seen enough ugly people going to Meyer today, so I don't want to see any more ugly people.
But if you want to see ugly people in weird outfits, that's where you go to Walmart.
Oh
They'll
man.
give you all the entertainment for a month.
I get for that.
David's right on the front lines there, man. He's slogging it out every day. David, I feel for you, man. That oh man.
I know, dude. I know. I've been working there for 5 years, and I can.
It's got to get better somehow. It's got to get better.
Oh, I know.
And I know. Look, it's just sad. A lot of our generation is just locked down. Underemployment is what they're calling it. But yeah, we've been having a really bad time in this economy. And look, I get it. I understand it. But I honestly do believe things are going to get. They're still going to get worse. But we are going to see something get better within our lifetime. I think it's going to happen. I honestly believe that.
Speaking of that, Dimitri, I sent an Amtrak meme in the live chat.
Okay.
What?
Oh yeah, you have to scroll up a bit.
Let's see. Amtrak meme in the live chat. Let's see. Oh man.
That's
Wait, is this the amount of wait, hold on.
delays.
Oh yeah,
delays?
that's what it looks like, the amount of delays. Better than an airport.
Better than an airport, but jeez.
Yeah, but one of those delays is like 4 hours.
I know. Also,
Wait. There's one that's. Oh, that's on the Canada side, and it's even worse.
Oh, that's on VOL side. I have the Empire building. That has delays too.
But
yeah, most of the Northeast corridors have delays.
Okay, hold on.
Wait, when was this taken?
Okay, I finally found the clip. It had to take YouTube, not X. X loses again. Elon Musk, fix your stuff. Your search bar doesn't work at all well. Anyway, okay, here we are. I found it. If wait, now it just disappeared.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, these are the type of people that look. This is why I'm not at all afraid, because this is the left that we're going against in this country. This is why that's going to be the next phase of what we're doing here when it comes to the American Rail Club and just politics in general. I mean, I can't stand the Republican Party because they're just so weak and feckless, and they just can't do much of anything. I mean, this whole debacle last night was an absolute travesty and just hilarious, and just shows how ineffective either of these parties are. But yeah, this is when we have to go to with the war with the left. This is what we're up against. These are hold on. These are the type of people that we're gonna at some point in time, and for their sake, I hope not. But this is the absolute physical prowess. Look at this physical beast right here. Look at this. Oh man, this is the strongest person on the left, by the way. The guy who can barely he can't even kick a pad. This is here we go. Look at this.
Also, Dimitri, I got the good news.
All right. Anyway, okay, that's enough ugly people for today.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a good new article talking about Mark and a good new article talking about CSX.
All right, well, let's pick one because I got the CSX one on here, and then we're just going to take the last 5 minutes and just talk about Independence Day and close it out and call it a night.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we'll talk about the CSX one. CSX completes rebuilding of Blue Ridge Subdivision Bridge. Finally, here we go, after what happened after Hurricane Helene. CSX said to reach a major milestone in its rebuilding of the hurricane-damaged Blue Ridge subdivision with the completion of a new bridge over the Nolichucky. I think that's what it's pronounced. Nolichucky or Nolichucky? Is it Nolichucky?
Yes.
That's how it's
Okay, it sounds like something Polish, but anyway, the Nolichucky River at Poplar, North Carolina. The 375-foot span on the former Clinchfield Railroad was destroyed by floodwaters after Hurricane Helene ravaged the area in September 2004, and all 60 miles of the railroad was either heavily damaged or wiped off the map between Irwin, Tennessee, and Spruce Pine, North Carolina. CSX expects to reopen the line sometime this year. Hooray! Meanwhile, the railroad is detouring 8 or so trains per day that normally would use the route. So there we go. That's some good news. Real good news that we're finally
good
seeing
news,
that
right?
happen.
Oh, by the way,
Hey,
look
guy-
at we Star Force or not Star Force, but Lakucha is waiting to come in.
All righty, hold on. Okay. Oh,
Ashton came in the last 10 minutes.
at the last 10, the last 5. I said hard stop at 9.
He's been raising his hand
Yeah,
for the
last
last 5
minute.
minutes.
All righty, all right.
I'm so
Okay.
sorry, guys. Came in at the last minute,
Oh, David.
but
That's
still late. Better
Oh,
late
no.
than never.
Better late than never. Yep, that's good. All righty,
Better
last
late.
5 minutes, guys. Let's call it a night over here. Let's talk about this great nation of what it was, what it is now, what it can be.
The picture. Oh yeah, it's
What-
just a yellow critter. Oh my god, it's a mini switcher and it's Japanese.
It's
Oh, that one. That's nice.
What? Foamers. But
Even a classic mini could still be practical today.
We're not talking about Mini
the
Coopers. We're not talking about. Okay, we're talking about America, guys. We're talking about America. Go ahead. You all have the floor.
Okay.
One at a time.
well, I won't be able to do anything tomorrow. They got me working from 10:30 to 7:30 tomorrow.
Oh no. Oh no. And
Well, most of the fireworks don't go off until nightfall, which is probably
Yeah.
closer to 9.
yeah,
anyway.
probably that. So at least you'll get to
Yeah,
see the fireworks, man. So that's something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sun
but-
don't turn until
Except your
around-
neighbors who fire it all day nights.
Yeah,
But-
that's
yeah.
that's Indianapolis.
Yeah, I'm hearing fireworks now.
What the
And I'm
heck?
probably.
Oh, they
And not
fire it
all
in the
of them
morning.
will be
They fire it in the day. They fire it in the morning, and they fire it at night, and they'll fire it all through the night over here.
Yeah, you
Oh,
gotta
yeah,
scare
but
all the
it's
animals.
going by right now. Like I literally, yep, northbound train going by. We literally got a train going by my house right now.
Oh, on
Did you
time.
get the engine number as it went by?
No, it's dark out there, sun just set, but you can hear it.
Oh, you're that close to the tracks?
Yeah, like I can literally see the train's headlights from my house through the tree line. That how close I am to the tracks.
Sometimes,
I-
Demetrius, remember, sometimes we could hear Florida East Coast Rail from all the way from our home sometimes.
Yeah, it's about half a mile from the house.
0.8 to be exact.
0.8. See, this is why I say this. We're autistic here on this club. Here we are. It's here we go. Play the anthem.
Demetrius, did how close? Like look at the screenshot I sent you. Did how close I am to the train track?
Oh yeah, shoot, dude, you're right there.
Which line is that?
That the CXX8 line
Okay.
in the area. The
I
area
hope you didn't mean to
I'm on-
dox yourself, man. So I'm not gonna put it on the screen for that much longer. But anyway.
I doxed myself long ago. I
Okay.
already did it.
I hope I'm just saying. I hope you're well American prepared, just in case, man. Just in case Hassan Piker comes to your house. I mean, it won't take that much anyway. You can just sneeze on him, and he'd probably fall over.
I would probably throw him in a wood chipper, knowing that he like little kids.
Okay. Oh yeah. No, that's here. You can.
Well, no,
Speaking of, you can send Hasbullah to go ahead and beat him. Hasbullah can do better against. There you go. Which by the way, I don't know if you guys are MMA fans. That Ilya fight was incredible. That was crazy. I don't know if you guys are into UFC or fighting or MMA or boxing or any of that sort of stuff, but
No, and I'm not.
okay. That was a good fight, by the way. The Jake Paul fight was an absolute miserable travesty. That was terrible.
I know. But yeah. But it's just been crazy. Also, I forgot to tell y'all, I was on the USS Yorktown last week. You know the aircraft carrier?
Yeah.
Oh, the one, the Hudson River?
No, we have a ship here. You know, CB-10, the USS Yorktown. It here in Charleston.
Nice.
Oh,
You got any
Tuck
pictures to
Hamlet.
share on that, or?
I got at me a couple. They're on my wife's Facebook. And actually, I do got one photo. I'm sending it in the chat right now.
That's nice.
There you
What
are.
was that, a few weeks ago?
It was about 2 weeks ago.
That's amazing.
It's in an area of Charleston called Patriot Point,
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yes.
with the most patriot area in Charleston.
Yeah, I've been on the well. Speaking of America, you're on the Yorktown. I've been on the USS Lexington in Corpus Christi because well, that's where the American Revolution started. Was Lexington and Yorktown. So when I was down in 2 years ago when I was down in Corpus Christi. No, actually, no, last year. Sorry, last year when I was down there in Corpus Christi, he's like, I have to go ahead and see the Lexington, and that was really cool. Yeah, if anybody, I love old battlefields. I love seeing. Yeah, these.
I like
Aircraft
some
carriers are
things
probably
about
one of the
battleships.
coolest stuff. Yeah, and I've been on the Intrepid too in New York. Those are usually the coolest ones because you actually get to not only have all the space in there within the carrier itself to have basically a full out museum, but then just seeing all the aircraft they have on top is incredible. I mean, I don't know how many
It's
pictures I
really
took of the F-14 that they had on top of that.
Concorde. The Concorde.
Yeah.
A video blog of it. I got a video blog about being on the aircraft carrier on my YouTube channel.
That is super cool, man. Yeah, link it here, and I'll put it on the YouTube chat as well. Speaking of the YouTube chat, Heartless Fiend said that the corporate overlords have allowed them the day off for him tomorrow. They thank goodness. Anything else would be un-American. That's we're glad you're having the day off, man. That's good. That's good. Let's see if there's anything else here in the chat. Let's see. Are there any ways to build a connected and safe neighborhoods in the city and suburbs? Yeah, building cities the way they used to be before and shrinking down suburbs to actually be towns or what towns they used to be again.
Oh,
All right.
Much
So a lot of
more
towns are on the
in line
Kenya
with
line.
a railroad town where you'd have a station in the
Railroad
middle of
to
the
me
town and
that
everyone could
Yeah.
either walk,
it's
bike,
like
or cruise.
There you are. Okay, let's go ahead and see. I'll put that there. Yeah, appreciate that, David. Yeah. Here you go. Link to the description, guys. If you guys want to see David's visit on it was the Yorktown, right?
Yorktown.
Yes.
There you are.
Yeah, I got to get back to Battleship 35. It came out of dry dock not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's been
Haven't been on a ship in years.
Yeah,
Oh,
you know what? I gotta take my wife to we have the World War Memorial over here in Indianapolis, and they have an actual Apache helicopter that they basically took apart and put it back together within the museum. It's super. It's really cool. That I gotta take her to that.
There was like a couple of World War I subs that they took across into the Great Lakes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
This might
Yep.
this might piss you off, but back about 5 years ago, they would talk about building a Medal of Honor museum right in Patriot Point. But the dumbass golf assholes, the rich ass fuckers who love golf,
No, wait, okay, hold on. Here we go. We can't build anything in this country where we have a whole group of people that just basically disallow anything cool. I get it, David. I understand. All right, speaking of, we're at 9:34. This train is 4 minutes late to the station, guys.
All right.
We are out of time.
A freight train.
Out of time,
One more
guys.
thing.
Okay,
One more.
last thing.
More.
Last thing. Go ahead, Darius. Last thing.
1 minute left.
Yep, that's it, man.
Want to know where the origins of freeways came from, and all the city building based on cars instead of people came from?
I know what you're gonna say, but go ahead and say it anyway.
Adolf Hitler.
Why do we have to? We have to end this stream on Hitler, Darius. Come on.
That's
Come
not really
on.
true, but there is a kernel of truth.
You literally invoked Godwin's law of the internet here on this channel, on our channel, on our club, Darius. Really?
I can fix that because the Medal of Honor Museum, the one that got denied here in Charleston, is going to Texas.
All righty, guys. That's it. We are out of time here. That is it. 9:35. Thank you all for joining
I
on
hope
this
everybody enjoyed the live
Freedom
stream.
Edition.
Like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Freedom Edition of the stream. Like and subscribe. Yep,
We have
exactly what they say.
monetization.
Thank you all for
Have a
joining.
comment for the
Thank you.
algorithm.
Enjoy,
Thank you for joining, everybody. And
enjoy
happy
your
Labor
4th
Day
of July.
to
Enjoy your
everyone.
Independence Day. Do not hold fireworks while it's going on, please. That is the dumbest
That's
the dumbest
dangerous.
thing you can do. Don't do that.
Unless you got a permit,
Okay.
you can shoot on fireworks.
God
Hold on
bless
to
and
the camera, not
Godspeed
the
and God
fireworks.
bless America. Take care, y'all. Have a good one.
God bless America. Have a
One
good night.
will be the big one.